MSW Media.
News with swearing. Daily beans, daily beans. Daily beans, daily beans.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Beans for Monday, November 24th, 2025. Today, Ghislaine Maxwell refuses to appear before Congress despite being totally agreeable to sit down with Todd Blanche earlier this year. Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning from Congress a year before her term expires. The Coast Guard has reclassified nooses and swastikas as hate symbols after a lot of backlash. The FBI spied on a Signal group chat of immigrant activists. RFK Jr. instructed the CDC to change vaccine and autism language. The Supreme Court temporarily halts tossing out the racially gerrymandered Texas map. A judge blocks the IRS from sharing immigration data with DHS. Democrats seek police action after Trump threatens to hang them. Democrats have swept school board elections nationwide. Mamdani owns Trump during their first Friday Oval Office meeting. And Doug Jones is going to run for governor against Tommy Tuberville in Alabama. And finally, Marco Rubio lied to Congress about Trump's new Ukraine peace plan being authored by Russia. I'm your host, Allison Gill. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Dana is traveling. She'll be back in your ears tomorrow. Just an announcement. We're launching a new video podcast called The Beans Talk, December 1st, which I believe is this coming Sunday/Monday. And you can head to the MSW Media YouTube channel and subscribe for free. We've spent the past month fine-tuning it behind the scenes. So if you want to get it early and ad-free, you can become a sustaining member of The Daily Beans at patreon.com/thedailybeans. If you sign up at the $5 level, you'll also get premium early feeds for this podcast and premium ad-free feeds for the Unjustified podcast with Andy McCabe. There are also new episodes of Unjustified out right now and a new episode of The Breakdown over on the Midas Touch Network. There'll be a link in the show notes for you. And a quick breakdown of The Breakdown. Go watch it. Like I said, link in the show notes. But I basically go over every single case that's about to fall apart for the Trump regime and the Department of Justice. I mean, we go through Marimar Martinez, Ian Santos Ruiz, Dana Briggs. That was just dismissed by the Department of Justice itself. Sarah Ellis's diatribe of all the lies that DHS and Customs and Border Protection told under oath. That is pretty eye-opening. The Abrego case, the Comey case, the National Guard deployment cases, the Alien Enemies Act case, they're all about to fall apart for Donald Trump. And I didn't realize how bad it was for this administration until I put them all back to back like that. At that end, there was news in all of these cases this week. So check it out if you get a moment. Also, this is Thanksgiving week, so we won't be going dark here on the beans. You'll still get the beans on Thursday and Friday, along with an episode of Unjustified this Sunday. But for patrons who are helping us put together the Beans Talk video episodes, we're going to go dark Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we launch to the public on Sunday. And we do that because our videographers and everybody, they're all taking the day off. So just want to thank you all for supporting us and giving us all of your feedback on that show. Also, thanks to the Coronado Democratic Club for having me as a speaker this past Sunday. Just an incredible group of humans doing incredible things for democracy. What a wonderful group. Thank you so much for having me out there. All right, we have an inordinate amount of news to get to, so let's hit the hot notes. Hot notes. All right, everybody, first up, Trump is still trying to peddle the peace plan Russia gave him via Deripaska and Manafort and Kilimnik back in 2016. The Times reports Ukrainian and American officials sat down for talks in Switzerland Sunday as part of Trump's push to get Kyiv to accept a peace plan to end the war with Russia. Mr. Trump has set a deadline for Thursday for Ukraine to agree to the 28-point plan that was drafted without input from Kyiv or anybody in Europe. The proposal contains many conditions that Ukraine has long rejected as non-starters, including surrendering territory, slashing the size of its army, and giving up some types of weaponry. Secretary of State Rubio and Steve Witkoff, Trump's special envoy, were meeting on Sunday with Ukraine's delegation to the U.S. mission in Geneva. That's according to U.S. official Dan Driscoll, the Army secretary. who was also participating in the talks, saying that the discussions would include, quote, more formal engagements with the United States leaders and Ukrainians to continue ironing out this peace agreement. But as the officials were meeting, Mr. Trump lashed out at both Ukraine and Europe. Quote, Ukraine leadership has expressed zero gratitude for our efforts. Zero gratitude to hand over giant chunks of the Donbas region to Russia. That is just, fuck you, sir. Mr. Trump wrote that on social media, and Europe continues to buy oil from Russia. Okay. There also seems to be a continued confusion about the plan, including among lawmakers. A group of U.S. senators claimed Saturday Mr. Rubio told them the document was not the administration's plan, but a wish list for the Russians. The State Department said that's blatantly false, and Rubio also rejected the characterization, writing on social media that the peace proposal was authored by the United States. The plan says that Crimea, Luhansk, and Donetsk would be considered Russian territory. Donetsk and Luhansk are collectively called the Donbas region, and I hate that it always seems like I'm bringing up the Mueller report, but my name is Mueller, she wrote on social media, and I'm gonna do it again. This is from the Mueller report. Manafort also twice met Kilimnik in the United States during the campaign period and conveyed campaign information. The second meeting took place August 2nd, 2016 in New York City. Kilimnik requested the meeting to deliver in person a message from former Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych, who was then living in Russia. The message was about a peace plan for Ukraine that Manafort has since acknowledged was a backdoor means for Russia to control eastern Ukraine. Several months later, after the presidential election, Kilimnik wrote an email to Manafort expressing the view, which Manafort later said he shared, that the plan's success would require U.S. support to succeed. All that's required to start the process is a very minor wink or slight push from Donald Trump. The email also stated that if Manafort were designated as the U.S. representative and stalled the process, Yanukovych would ensure his reception in Russia at the very top level. First, Manafort and Kilimnik discussed the plan to resolve ongoing political problems in Ukraine by creating an autonomous republic in the eastern region of Donbas, and having Yanukovych, the Ukrainian president ousted in 2014, elected to head that republic. The plan, Manafort later acknowledged, constituted a backdoor for Russia to control eastern Ukraine. Manafort initially said that if he had not cut off the discussion, Kilimnik would have asked Manafort in the August 2nd meeting to convince Trump to come out in favor of this peace plan, and Yanukovych would have expected Manafort to use his connections in Europe and Ukraine to support it. You can go to the online PDF version of the Mueller report. You can do a word search for Donbas. You can do a word search for peace plan. All of this will come up. This is not new. The Russians wrote it in 2016, and they wrote it in 2025. Next up from The Guardian, the FBI spied on a private Signal group chat of immigrants' rights activists who were organizing court watch efforts in New York City this spring. Law enforcement records shared that with The Guardian. The FBI, the documents show, gained access to conversations in a court watch Signal group chat that helps coordinate volunteer activists who monitor public proceedings at 3 New York federal immigration courts. The U.S. government has repeatedly been accused of violating immigrants' due process rights in those courts. A, quote, joint situational information report from the FBI and the New York Police Department, dated August 28, 2025, quoted from a chat on Signal and also characterized the court watchers as anarchist, violent extremist actors. The 2-page report was distributed to other law enforcement agencies across the United States. So keep your head on a swivel when you're in ICE group chats. There could be a mole in there. Make sure those messages are set to disappear in a certain amount of time. Now, in a related story from the Post, a federal judge Friday blocked the IRS from sharing data with immigration enforcement officials, ruling that the tax agency violated federal law and the rights of tens of thousands of individuals in its attempt to participate in President Trump's mass deportation campaign. Treasury and Homeland Security departments in April formalized an agreement to share confidential information about taxpayers who the Trump administration suspected of being in the country illegally. Under the terms of the deal, signed by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Homeland Security Secretary Puppy Killer Kristi Noem, Immigration officials would provide the IRS with names, addresses, and other identifying information for individuals they wished to detain and deport. The IRS would cross-check those details against confidential databases to confirm the individual's identity and location. In August, DHS requested 1.2 million names from the IRS, which returned hits matching about 47,000 individuals. But on Friday, Judge Colleen Collar-Caudill of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia held that the arrangement violates privacy rights that underpin the U.S. tax code. She said the individuals, plus the taxpayer rights groups that brought the complaint, faced severe harm if the data sharing agreement was allowed to continue. She added that the lost revenue from immigrants who avoid filing taxes out of fear of deportation harms the American public at large by depriving the government of funds. It harms all of us. So we'll keep an eye on that story. And it appears Mamdani turned Trump into a socialist. What Fox News billed as the socialism showdown. Sunday, 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 Friday, Friday, Friday. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge, right? He's gonna take him down. It turned into Trump falling all over himself to be around the mayor-elect. Now, the MAGA backlash was swift, too, because they were all the MAGA people were planning to make Democrats wear Mamdani like an albatross in the upcoming primaries. They were going to Mamdanify the Democrats. But that whole plan now has been shot to shit. And Mamdani got everything he wanted. Trump, all he got, more cracks in his base. NBC reports Laura Loomer questioned why Mamdani received a warmer welcome at the White House than Volodymyr Zelensky. Quote, if socialists are doing a good job, then I guess nobody needs to vote them out during the midterms, she said. If you're a Republican, why not just stay home in 2026 and 2028? Deal. Yeah, just stay home. Since Mamdani's policies are amazing. I'm confused. Really, Laura? No need to oppose the left, I guess. I guess socialism is comfortable now. No need to vote for the Republicans in 2026 is the message I'm getting from that. Am I missing something? Nope, you're totally right. Stay home, Republicans. And Elise Stefanik, Republican from New York, a Trump ally who's running for governor in that state, said she disagreed with Trump's assessment of the mayor-elect, who was heavily featured in her campaign. Trump said he did not believe Mamdani was a jihadist, which Stefanik says every day. Quote, we all want New York City to succeed, she said, but we'll have to agree to disagree on this one. If he walks like a jihadist, if he talks like a jihadist, if he campaigns like a jihadist, if he supports jihadists, he's a jihadist. How many times can you get the word into one sentence, lady? Mamdani even got Trump to stand FDR, the creator of the New Deal and a president known for his democratic socialist agenda. And when a reporter asked Mamdani, they asked if he stood by his comments that Trump is a fascist. Mamdani said yes, and then Trump interjected, that's okay, you could say yes, it's okay, it's easier than explaining it, I don't mind. And after that happened, reporters were like, do you still think he's a fascist? He's like, yeah. So I had no idea it was going to go down that way. That was not on my bingo card. And then MTG resigning as well. That was a wild weekend. And following a week of hints and speculations, it's official. Former Senator Doug Jones plans to enter the Alabama governor's race against Tommy Tuberville. The news was first reported on the Voice of Alabama Politics, an online news and analysis show hosted by Bill Britt, editor of the Alabama Political Reporter. Quote, I got a call from those very, very close to former U.S. Senator Doug Jones, and we can now report with certainty. Doug Jones will file his paperwork with the Secretary of State this week to run for governor of Alabama. Go, Doug, go. I know a lot of people wanted him to be the Attorney General under the Biden administration. So we'll see. Also, Politico reports that from Texas to Pennsylvania to Ohio, Democrat-backed candidates ran successful campaigns in some of the nation's largest school systems and in political battlegrounds. They emphasized test scores and bus safety over debates about which bathroom transgender students use and banning books from school libraries. And the result was a set of election results at the local level that accentuated the punishment meted out against Republicans by swing voters earlier this month. Those results were accentuated by Democrats' strong showing across the nation as Americans issue a stinging repudiation of the party in power. In Pennsylvania, Democrats flipped at least 24 school board seats per an ongoing tally, from progressive recruitment group Pipeline Fund. The under-the-radar trend was enabled by voters' increasing weariness of the culture wars that helped MAGA movement and helped them engineer school board takeovers and generate hyper-local interests in politics as the COVID-19 pandemic raged. In addition to Texas, Republicans lost seat in the suburbs of Columbus, Ohio, and the national battleground of state of Pennsylvania, the result of well-funded campaigns orchestrated by local leaders. School board races are typically nonpartisan, but candidates receive endorsements and financial backing from partisan groups. So well done, everybody. I've yet to see a Republican that ran opposed, that won something in that election. Next up from the Post, several Democratic lawmakers sought police action Friday over social media posts by President Donald Trump, in which he said they should be arrested and hanged for encouraging the U.S. military to disobey illegal orders. Not encouraging people to disobey. Don't break the law. Oh my gosh. At least two lawmakers, Crow and DeLuzio, from Colorado and Pennsylvania respectively, have requested that U.S. Capitol Police investigate intimidating, threatening, and concerning posts made by Trump on his Truth Social platform. That's according to a copy of a letter sent from Crow's office to police Thursday and obtained by the Post. Axios first reported that request. DeLuzio spokeswoman Zoe Bluffstone confirmed Friday that his office also reported the posts to Capitol Police using the same language as in the letter from Crow's office. And Chrissy Houlihan from Pennsylvania also said Friday that her office has filed a complaint about a threat from the president with Capitol Police. Now, Trump's social media post came Thursday in response to a video released Tuesday of 6 Congress members with military or intelligence experience who cautioned that threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but right here at home. And they urged members of the U.S. military and intelligence communities to disobey illegal orders. If you ask me, this was a brilliant and brave gambit by these 6 Democrats. They knew they would be faced with threats so that they could expose the violence on the right and Trump's proclivity for giving unlawful orders. Who gets mad if my friend came to me and said, don't do anything illegal? Okay. Anyway, I'm just very grateful for these 6 members of Congress and the intelligence apparatus. Same thing, like I said, with MTG resigning a year early. She cited threats that she was receiving as a reason to step down. She's been receiving threats since she flipped on Trump. And Jasmine Crockett pointed out on CNN, honestly, I was like, you've got to be kidding. You're on the other side of the president for 1 week and you can't take the heat? Imagine what it's like to be in my shoes. Well said. And again, I can't figure out what made Marjorie leave her seat a year early. But whatever it is, it must be worth more than the $5 million or so she could have grifted out of staying there another year. She didn't have to run again. She could stay her full term. In the last 5 years, she's made about $25 million. That's about $5 million a year. So whatever it is, has to be worth her tossing $5 million out the window. We'll see. We'll figure it out. We'll find out. Maybe she just goes away. Maybe she just goes down there and lives her life. And that's what she wants to do. That would be a heck of a 180 from the person that I know her to be. And today in No Shit Sherlock news, this is from the Times, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said in an interview that he personally instructed the CDC to abandon its longstanding position that vaccines do not cause autism, a move that underscores his determination to challenge scientific consensus and bend the health department to his will. In an interview Thursday explaining why the CDC website now says the claim that vaccines don't cause autism is not evidence-based, Kennedy acknowledged that the large-scale epidemiological studies of the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine had found no link to autism, and that studies of the mercury-based preservative, thimerosal, had also shown no link. Again, he gets money from a law firm that sues pharmaceutical companies over vaccines. He is making it easier for them to do that and kick him back millions of dollars. This has been what I've been saying since day one. And I know nobody's surprised by this, but if you think about the goal, then all of the things that they do make sense. Next up from Politico, Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted sex offender and co-conspirator of Jeffrey Epstein, will refuse to answer questions of the House Oversight Committee's probe into Epstein and the Justice Department's handling of the case. That's what Jim Comer said. Good old Jamie Comer. Maxwell's legal team said she would invoke her Fifth Amendment rights if she sat with congressional investigators. Have you committed more crimes you haven't been convicted for? Fifth Amendment? Did you answered all of Todd Blanche's questions a couple days before he sent you to that really cushy club fed you're in now after waiving your sex offender status? Comer also suggested it would be unlikely that his staff or lawmakers would sit down with her anyway. I don't know. I guess it makes sense. But I don't, how can you plead the Fifth for crimes you've already been convicted of and whose appeals have been exhausted? Yeah, you know what? I cannot figure out what goes on in their minds. Just so you know, as a follow-up on a story we did last week, the Coast Guard has reclassified the noose and the swastika as hate symbols after intense backlash from folks like us. So well done. We helped. Bannon writes for MSNBC, as the dust settles on this story, the Post's latest reporting added, while the Coast Guard has now come out strongly against the incendiary wording of the new defunct policy, there are still significant questions as to whom approved reclassifying both a noose and a swastika as just potentially divisive in the first place. I would like to know, and I bet you would too. All right, we've got some good trouble up first in the good news, but we're going to take a quick break right now. We'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, everybody. Half of my holiday gifts end up unused, tucked in a drawer, accidentally left at a relative's house. Oops. So this year, I'm going to go practical with Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless plans for $15 a month. Their best offer all year. No clutter, no guesswork, just real savings and service I will notice every time I use my phone. I want to thank Mint Mobile for supporting this episode. Make the switch at mintmobile.com/dailybeans. Right now, Mint Mobile is running the best deal of the year. Unlimited for $15 a month on 3, 6, or 12-month plans. All Mint plans include high-speed data with unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. So you get dependable performance no matter where you end up this holiday season. Bring the phone you already love and keep your number. There's no contracts, no nonsense. Setup is simple and easy. One of our producers tested Mint Mobile just to see if it matched the hype, and he found an old unlocked Android phone sitting around in a drawer. He signed up, got his SIM card in the mail in just a couple of days, popped it in, followed some quick, easy steps, and it worked perfectly. The coverage is amazing. Now he has a second phone line for just $15 a month. That's great. So don't get them socks. Get them premium wireless for $15 a month. Shop Mint Unlimited plans at mintmobile.com/dailybeans. That's mintmobile.com/dailybeans. Limited time offer, upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, $180 for 12 months plan, includes $15 a month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra, initial plan term only, greater than 35 gigabytes, may slow when network is busy, capable device required, availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com for details. Everybody, welcome back. It's time for the good news.
Who likes good news, everyone? Then good news, everyone.
Good news, good news. And if you have any good news, good trouble, confessions, corrections, street jokes you want to send us, misheard song lyrics, especially pronunciation corrections for us. We get those wrong a lot because we read more than we hear it spoken to us. Send it all to us, dailybeanspod.com. Click on contact. You can also send a shout out, whether it's about yourself and how awesome you are, a loved one, a small business in your area, a nonprofit, a food bank, a government program that's helped you or a loved one. Any shout outs. We love those. We accept those. And your good news can be little. It can be big. We all need to microdose hope right now and share in your happiness. So whatever it is, send it in to dailybeanspod.com. Click on contact. And all you got to do to get it read on air is pay your pod pet tariff, which means attach a photo of your pet. If you don't have a pet, send us an adoptable pet in your area. We'll find him a home. If you don't have that, really just grab any random photo of an animal on the internet. That always works. We love bird watching photos, which can be an actual bird, because I'm 52 now and I love bird watching. It just happened. Or it can be you and your family and friends flipping the bird to Donald Trump properties. Those are always great photos to share. And they always give me a little bit of joy. So send those to us. And really any picture works. If you have a family photo or what you dressed up for is Halloween or some great signs you've seen at a rally or at a freeway overpass, photos of you postcarding for the Tennessee 7th District election coming up on December 2nd, or phone banking or text banking, anything at all that you can think of, send it to us. dailybeanspod.com, click on contact. First up is your good trouble. Now, it might be too close to the election for postcarding, but there are still plenty of ways to phone bank and canvass for Afton Bank. Check the dates to see what works for you. We have put a link in the show notes. They offer training, so there's no need to be worried if you've never done it. And if you can't do a specific time, we'll have a link to an asynchronous phone banking situation where you can, quote, make a difference on your own schedule by joining our remote phone banking team. As an asynchronous phone banker, you'll help us reach voters, share our message, and build support, all from the comfort of your home and at times that work best for you. There's also training for the asynchronous phone banking. So look for those links in the show notes. That's your good trouble. This is a red district, but boy, if we can flip it, holy majoli. All right, first up in the good news from Anonymade, pronouns she and her. Hello, you lovely ladies and all our fellow Leguminati. I'm writing today on my ride back from attending my very first DC protest. While I have attended protests locally near New England, I've never done so in DC. My spouse and I attended 2 of the 3 days of the Remove the Regime protest this past weekend. He has attended several as part of the Sons of Liberty organization and encouraged me to join him this time. He also connected me with the DC Handmade Army, and he hooked me up with the gear. Now that's love. So for the first time, I protested dressed as a handmaid. Anonymade, I have seen these photos. This is amazing. You were part of that. To say it was an emotional experience seems weak. Wearing the bonnet, the hooded red cloak, it's isolating. Even when you're among a group of amazing, strident, and welcoming women protesting in solidarity against the Tangerine regime. I am so glad I broke out of my introverted comfort zone to join with the beautiful and powerful DC handmaids. For anyone interested in connecting with them, their website is handmadearmydc.com. For my tariff, I'm sharing a photo from my perspective, sitting on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, along with a photo showing us sitting with the enormous Constitution that we carried the length of the reflecting pool to the Lincoln Memorial at the start of Saturday's rally. Oh, you were in it. You were in it. Members of the Beans team were there, part of the Handmaid's Army. Oh, thank you for sending that in. My heart. Next up from Megan, pronouns she and her. Shout out to my amazing mama who missed the 60s protests as a young military bride. She's a total rock star who has 2 DB Good Trouble submissions chosen. She has changed so many minds by just asking, "What have you done?" to the other residents in her independent living and people who see her t-shirts on the street. But when introduced her to the Daily Beans a couple of years ago, she didn't like it because there was too much swearing. I'm sorry, Mama. But when she mentioned the story she heard on the Daily Beans since the election, I looked at her funny and asked, "What about the swearing?" Not a direct quote, but she basically said, "I got over that with this administration." She may have even said, "Fuck that." Now it's the time to work. She's always been a moral stake, but being able to go to protest with her is something I will remember forever. For pet text, we have Faux, Crazy in French, or Fou, and Lily, almost a find the cat. Oh, dookie doo. Yeah, Lily blends in with that comforter. Sweet babies. It's like Spy versus Spy. Oh, thank you for that, Megan. Next up, Caspian, pronouns he and they. I don't actually have any news, but a while ago you requested pictures of capybaras. Here's a picture of Antonio and his capybara from my Encanto Lego set. I gave the capybara a party hat because he deserves it. I love this. Thank you, Caspian. Thanks for sending that in. I needed that. Next up from Don, pronouns he and him. I'm in my 8th year of volunteering to teach computer science in a high school. You're volunteering? Wow. You asked what I was doing to stay sane. This summer, I created plans and video instructions for children and their parents to build an animatronic robot for their desks. Made from cardboard and $50 worth of electronics, I show how to build and program these robots. Here's a YouTube link. We'll have it in the show notes. For my tariff, I'm adding an up-to-date photo of Odin, Lord of Cats. He's now about 5.5 months old. Look at that giant baby. Is that a Maine Coon? He's giant. I love him. Okay, these robots, everybody, this is going to be such a fun project to do with kids on the holidays. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for that. Again, we'll have the YouTube link in the show notes. Next up, Nurse Jackie from the show. This shout out is to you. I'm an advanced practice nurse and want to thank you for elevating the story of the Department of Education's disgusting reversal on allowing advanced practice nurses and physician assistants to access critical loans for our education. Medical enrollments are dropping, and many communities, such as rural communities, depend on us. More than half of advanced practice have utilized these loans to further their education. The implication this reversal has on healthcare has the potential of being truly devastating. I pray that more people will shout out this story and demand advanced practice nursing and physician assistant students can access these vital loans. You fucking rock. We love you. I hope this day brings you an unexpected joy. And Nurse Jackie, it just did, because the photo of this kitten is bringing me unexpected joy. Thank you so much. Oh my God, this dog. This is from Angelica, pronouns she and her. Hello, I wanted to share that I listen to your podcast every day during my 1-hour commute, dropping the kids off at school around town. My 6-year-old son listens passively in the back seat until recently he started asking me excitedly if we were going to listen to the Daily Beans. He sang the jingle and said MSW Medium. Oh my God, that's amazing. We play Wordle together every night to help calm him down for bed. It's also a fun way to help him learn new words, reading and spelling. He gets to pick our first word, and he's been alternating between daily and beans. I told him I would submit a good news story to you about this and that you might get a kick out of it. I do get a kick out of this. This is amazing. Thank you for helping me stay sane these last few years, especially 2025. For my pod pet tax, I'm sharing a photo of our new family member, Ozzy Cooper, rock star. He is partly through his first ever haircut, and it really gives him that rock star vibe. It does. Oh my God. It's so hilarious. We love our Ozzy. Can you guess his breed? Poodle with the giant head, maybe a Bichon Frise in there, but I'm guessing poodle. Look at this fluffy baby. All right, let's see what we got. Micro Bernedoodle. Okay. How did you even get that? How do you get, is it like a toy poodle with a Bernese mountain dog? And who's pitching and who's catching? Oh my goodness, this dog is adorable. I wonder if they're hypoallergenic. I wonder if they bark a lot. I bet they're very smart and sweet. I hope you get the smartness of the poodle and the hypoallergenicness of the poodle with the sweetness of the Bernese and the portability of the micro. That's what a cool dog. I need to see something for scale though. If you can send in another picture, Angelica, with a banana, that'd be great. Everybody, thank you so much for your good news. Please send it all to us. Dana, hint, hint, loves baby pictures. You can also check out all of her photos from her Out 100 party. They're incredible. You can check her out at DG Comedy on all the socials, but she's got some great stuff up on Instagram, great videos. Check those out. But she'll be back in your ears tomorrow. So you can, let's shower her with baby photos for the good news. Even if it's just a random baby on the internet, send it in. We would love for her to be welcomed back to the show after her long weekend. So everybody, thank you so much. Again, if you want to become a supporting member and get our behind the scenes video podcast for the next couple of days, you want to get them ad free early. You want to get this show ad free and early. It's really it starts at $3 a month, right? Just to get this show ad free and early. It's just $36 a year. We also have gift subscriptions for people who can't swing it. That'd be a great holiday gift. So check it all out, dailybeanspod.com. where you can see patrons helping patrons, or you can go to patreon.com/thedailybeans. Thank you all so much. We'll be back on your ears tomorrow. Until then, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, take care of the planet, take care of your mental health, and take care of your family. I've been AG, and them's the beans.
The Daily Beans is written and executive produced by Allison Gill, with additional research and reporting by Dana Goldberg. Sound design and editing is by Desiree McFarlane, with art and web design by Joelle Reeder with Moxie Design Studios. Music for The Daily Beans is written and performed by They Might Be Giants, and the show is a proud member of the MSW Media Network, a collection of creator-owned podcasts dedicated to news, politics, and justice. For more information, please visit mswmedia.com.
MSW Media.